Hello! The hype is building up, guys. The Euros are less than a week away now, and all this hype is making me think about how well the underdogs will be doing in this tournament. So today I decided to rank each of the underdogs based on how well I think they'll do this summer. You might be questioning how I'm ranking these underdogs. Well, I decided to choose one team from each group that many people are not banking on doing very well. So for Group A, I've gone for Wales, Group B, Finland, Group C, North Macedonia, Group D, Scotland, Group E, Slovakia, and Group F, Hungary. No disrespect to any of these teams, they're all solid. There are obviously a lot of other teams that people are not necessarily putting their money on to do well, but I definitely think all these teams will be the most underestimated that are playing this summer. But before we get into this list, let's take a look at our sponsor, OneFootball. OneFootball is honestly one of the most convenient football apps where you can access scores, statistics, news, and it's going to serve you very well for Euro 2020. There are tabs for the match schedules, the tables, there's also a tab for the latest news, and you can receive extra notifications for your favorite teams you want to be following. You can also look up statistics for every player that's playing in Euro 2020, so you'll never be behind on how well each player is doing. You can stay up to date with your fantasy team and all that. This app is very convenient. It's way better to have everything in one place rather than to Google search everything over and over again. I highly recommend you get this because it's free, easy to use. Go check it out right now. I'll leave a link in the description below. Alright, getting back into today's topic, guys. Please do not get offended with anything I say in this video. I am rooting for all these underdogs. I always love an underdog story. So I'm going to be starting on who I believe in the least to the most. I'm just predicting the likelihood of how well each of the underdogs could do this summer. So no hate to any of them. Good luck to all of them. Let's get into the video. Starting off with the underdogs who I do not believe will be the best. At number 6, we're going with Slovakia. Now, Slovakia do have some quality players, but their most famous ones are also aging a bit, such as Hamšík. Obviously, props to them for making it to the Euros, but I don't see them necessarily doing very well. They have a very tough group ahead of them. I'm pretty sure they almost lost to Malta in the World Cup qualifiers. I don't know, it's tough because looking at their old matches, you know, they did beat Russia in March in the World Cup qualifiers, which is a bit of a surprise. Slovakia randomly pull it off. I could see them maybe starting the table a bit, but I don't see them making it to the next round. Slovakia not looking like the most reliable team to bank on to have an amazing underdog story this summer. Again, I'd love to see that not be true. I'd love to see them do well, but I honestly wouldn't be putting my money on them to make it to the next round. Poland, Sweden, and Spain are all looking way more consistent and stronger than Slovakia. They're definitely at the bottom chain of how well I think the underdogs can perform this summer. Now for number 5, I've gone for Finland. Same situation with Finland. They're in a very tough group. Belgium and Denmark especially are looking very, very strong. Denmark destroyed some teams in the qualifiers. Russia also pulls off very good performances. I honestly can't see Finland pulling out of the group. They do have some well-known names. Pukki has had an incredible season. Hradecki has also been good. I don't think it's going to be enough for them, though, to make it to the next round. They're just a bit too weak. They can do well against certain teams, and they could cause maybe one upset to stir the group, but I don't see them making it to the next round, unfortunately. Their last win was in November in the Nations League against Bulgaria, 2-1. Other than that, they've been drawing some matches, decent results against Ukraine and Bosnia, but then Switzerland beat them, Sweden beat them, and then Estonia beat them. Sorry, Finland, I don't see you guys pulling very far in this tournament. Again, I'd love to see you guys prove me wrong, but yeah, the likelihood for you guys telling an underdog story, in my opinion, is pretty low. Number 4 now, I'm going with Wales. In the last Euros, Wales had a very good run. They beat Belgium, which was very impressive, but lately their Nations League matches are kind of hard to justify because they aren't necessarily in the toughest group. Ireland has been in not very good form, and then they also played Finland and Bulgaria recently. They do have some exceptional talent there, but their star players also aren't in very consistent form. Gareth Bale randomly had matches for Tottenham where he just absolutely pulled through, but also a lot where he was a bit inconsistent. I could see him being a little bit more motivated this summer, but they do have a very tough group ahead. I can't really see them beating Turkey or Italy. Maybe they can pull a decent result against Switzerland, where they're able to beat them and maybe qualify for the next round, but it's still a tiny bit doubtful. I think they're strong enough to get at least one solid performance this tournament. So with that being said, I'll put him at 4th most likely to have an underdog tail. Now for number 3, I'm going with Hungary. I think most people will not be agreeing with me on this one as they are in the group of death with Germany, France, and Portugal. They look like they're about to be destroyed. But I do believe in the Hungarian side for some reason. I definitely think they're going to stir the group somehow in some way or another. Maybe not make it to the next round, but they'll definitely make an impact, influence this very tough group. Unfortunately, their best player, Szoboszlai, will not be participating in the tournament due to injury, which is very unfortunate, but they still have a very good side. They've had very solid results throughout the year. They're looking stronger and stronger, and I think their belief will be very high this summer. I don't think they'll be discouraged by the tough teams they gotta face. I do have some belief in Hungary, not the most, but that's why I'm putting them at number 3. I do think they have something in them that could influence this tournament for sure. Maybe they can get out of the group, and maybe they can keep pushing a little bit. Who knows? It's very tough to predict, but I'm putting them at number 3, most likely to have a nice underdog tale this summer. Now for number 2, I'm going with Scotland. I'm genuinely worried about Scotland, to be honest. I did put them at 4th in my predictions, but this group is very tough to predict. All of these sides have been very, very solid in this group. England, Croatia, Czech Republic. Scotland have a very solid defense, and it seems like they'll know what to do against these sides. They're definitely going to put off big fights for sure, and possibly get out of this group and continue their run. It was just a friendly, but they drew with Netherlands recently 2-2. Other than that though, most of their matches have been looking a bit low scoring, but it just shows they have a very solid defense which will be able to hold off these teams very well. They could definitely pull some draws in there without a doubt, which could influence the group. They've obviously got some talent in defense. Robertson, Tierney, Hanley. Without a doubt in my mind, they're going to stir up this group one way and another and maybe qualify for the next round. I think number 2 is a very decent place for them as their defense is very hard to break sometimes. Now for number 1, people will probably think this is biased, but I'm going with Macedonia. I definitely feel like Macedonia has the most heart right now, and the group they're in is not easy whatsoever, but I feel like it's the most doable out of all the groups that we're seeing. Netherlands obviously being the favorites in this group, but they haven't necessarily been consistent. They're also missing Van Dijk. Austria don't have a good history in international tournaments, and Ukraine do impress a lot, but they also randomly slip up. Macedonia can take advantage of all of these teams' inconsistencies. Do I think they'll top this group? No, but I do think they're going to write off a very interesting story this summer. If I had to put money on one of these teams making an underdog story, I gotta give it to them. They also just beat Germany recently in the World Cup qualifiers. We can't forget about that. They play a very defensive game. It's going to stress all these teams out without a doubt. They'll pull up a good fight, no matter if they get the win, loss, or draw. They're putting up a great fight against all these teams. I already know it. Maybe they won't go far in the tournament, but I think they'll impress a lot of people in this group. We'll see though. Everything's up for the air. Honestly, this tournament is one of the hardest to predict ever. All these teams are looking dangerous in one way or another. As always though, let me know what you guys think. What's your order for the underdog list? Again, wishing the best of luck to all these teams mentioned. No hate to any of them. It's going to be a very interesting summer, without a doubt. Guys, if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, join my fantasy league if you haven't already, leaving a link in the description below. But yeah, take care, laku noć.